For almost 75 years, the FBI's top 10 most wanted list has helped bring down some of the nation's most dangerous criminals. For almost 75 years, the FBI's top 10 most wanted list has helped bring down some of the nation's most dangerous criminals. As for what makes the list special, it only features criminals that the FBI deems to be especially serious threats to society. And to get on it, you basically have to do something extremely messed up or have a very lengthy record of major crimes. The story behind the list goes that back in 1949, a reporter asked the FBI to list out the 10 toughest guys that they were trying to catch so they could ask the public for help. After obtaining the list, the reporter published the criminals' pictures on the front page of the Washington Daily News, and the rest is history. Since then, the FBI has been able to catch almost 500 wanted fugitives thanks to public tips. These are the current criminals on the list. Bhadresh Kumar Shetanbai Patel. On April 12, 2015, a CCTV camera captured two Dunkin' Donuts employees, one male and one female, walking towards the shop's back room at around 9:30 p.m. before disappearing from view. A few seconds later, the man comes back into the camera's view, and it seems as if nothing out of the ordinary took place in the minute that...
Yeah, that's some crazy ass work. That's crazy work right there, nigga. You just got through catching a body and acting like everything is normal? Yeah. It's a weird one right here.
Down between the two clips. A few minutes later, customers alerted the police when they didn't see any employees in the shop, and that's when the cops discovered something horrifying. Lying on the floor of the shop's back room was an Indian woman named Palak, lifeless, who had been pummeled to death by the man in the footage. As it was later revealed, the man who took Palak's life was her husband, Bhadresh Kumar. As the authorities later learned, the couple had been through a series of major arguments in the months leading up to that day. According to court documents, the two of their visas were about to expire in a few weeks. Palak wanted...
He ain't want to return back. He ain't want to return back, so he sat up there and killed his wife, bro. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Listen to your boy. He ain't want to return back. Listen to your boy. Do your homework on that. That's crazy word. So
back to India, but Bhadresh Kumar wanted to stay in the US, and it looks like he couldn't find a better way to communicate his frustration with the situation than to brutally take his wife's life. After the crime, Bhadresh Kumar was last seen taking a taxi from a hotel in New Jersey to a train station in Newark, but what he did after that is really anyone's guess. To bring more attention to a suspect who might otherwise walk away scot-free, the FBI placed him on the most wanted list. As of today, there's a $250,000 reward to bring the suspect into custody, but almost 10 years after the crime, it looks like that won't happen anytime soon.
Hell no, like, bro. You top motherfuckers lay there with the crowd, what the fuck, like, you ain't gonna never find him, folks.
Alejandro Rosales Castillo. The youngest suspect on the most wanted list, 26-year-old Alejandro Rosales Castillo, has been on the FBI's radar for more than 8 years. In 2016, he shot his female co-worker Sandy Lee in a wooded area in Cabarrus County, North Carolina. A few days later, the female victim's car was located at a bus station in Phoenix, Arizona. As the authorities later found out, there were multiple people involved in the case, with the main ones being the victim, a woman named Amia Feaster, and Alejandro himself, all of whom worked together at a restaurant in Charlotte. During the investigation, the cops learned that Sandy Lee and Alejandro had briefly dated, and after their breakup, Castillo started dating his other co-worker, Amia Feaster.
You don't fuck with your co-workers, G. That's a no-no. That don't work out. Don't keep it a million with you. That don't turn out good, bro. Like, my nigga, what the fuck?
According to court documents, Sandy Lee had apparently lent some money to Alejandro, and on August 9th of that year, he texted her to meet up with him at a Quick Trip located on Eastway Drive in Charlotte, claiming that he was going to pay her back. Disturbingly, that's when Castillo decided to rob her at gunpoint, take her life, and flee to Mexico. In an eerie clip of CCTV footage that was...
Yeah, that shit crazy work, bro. Like, that's crazy work. You offed her and then you flee to Mexico. Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Released by the authorities, the suspect can be seen crossing the Mexican border through Nogales, Arizona, along with his girlfriend, Amia. A couple of months later that same year, Amia turned herself into the authorities in Mexico and was charged with accessory after the fact of felony murder and larceny of a motor vehicle. Based on her testimony, she and Alejandro had been staying with the killer's cousin. At some point, Castillo had once again disappeared with no explanation, and that's when she decided to turn herself in. As of 2024, the FBI has no further clues that could lead to Castillo's arrest. Right now, all they know is that he's probably still living in Mexico. The last time he was seen, he wore his hair short and shaved on the sides, but that's pretty much all they have to go on. As of today, there's still a $250,000 reward out for his arrest, but there have been no further updates on his case.
Yeah, that shit weird, bruh.
Before we move on, I wanted to take some time to talk about this video's sponsor, Aura, which has become much news as it breaches at times as one of the biggest scams in history. For several years, Ruja, or the crypto queen as she's known nowadays, promised her buyers a 5-fold and even 10-fold return on their investment in OneCoin. Normally, these kinds of claims are an immediate red flag, but because the entire world was scrambling to get on the crypto action, a ton of investors jumped at the opportunity without thinking twice, resulting in a massive OneCoin buying frenzy. Between 2014 and 2016, OneCoin raked in more than $4 billion from unsuspecting investors, with more than $50 million coming from investors in the US. As the investors learned when they bought into OneCoin, the company was pretty much a pyramid scheme in which they were rewarded for recruiting their friends to buy it as well.
Right.
And for a while, the shady multi-level marketing model seemed to be working for Ruja. However, in 2016, a lot of her investors started complaining that they were really struggling to sell their OneCoins and that they didn't see how they'd ever recoup their investments. Word started to spread online that OneCoin was a scam.
That shit crazy, bro.
Which drew the attention of the media as well as federal investigators. Unfortunately, it was a little too late by then. Less than a year and a half after her presentation in Wembley, Ruja got on a plane from Bulgaria to Greece and was never seen again. Disturbingly, during the investigations, a bunch of really messed up emails written by Ruja were leaked by federal investigators in which the crypto queen made it more than clear that she knew she was scamming people out of their hard-earned money from the very start. In some of her emails, she admitted that the company wasn't actually mining any coins, that her coin was trash, and that her investors were idiots for trusting her. In one of her
Hell yeah, like, why would y'all put y'all on to somebody who y'all don't even know? To be exact, it's a stranger. Keep it a man with you. Listen to your boy. Come on, man, you gotta use your head. It's common sense, but I forgot. Common sense ain't common nowadays. Listen to your boy, it's not.
She proposed an exit strategy to her partner Carl Greenwood, which consisted of taking the money, running away, and blaming somebody else for the whole thing. During the investigation, Carl ended up pleading guilty to wire fraud and conspiracy to launder money, for which he was sentenced to 20 years in prison. As it was later revealed, the FBI had been on to Ruja long before she fled from Bulgaria, even recruiting her American boyfriend to look into her company's practices for them. After learning about her extremely sketchy business practices and her grand scheme to steal billions of dollars from investors all around the world, she was charged with wire fraud, money laundering, and securities fraud. This promptly landed her a spot on the FBI's most wanted list, becoming only the 11th woman to earn that distinction. Looking into her past...
Oh, hell yeah, bro. Like, I'm cool. Like, I don't want to do no business with you, shorty. Like, I'm straight. OVA. The fuck is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Do your homework on OVA. Nigga, I'm T.I. I ain't trying to kick it with you. I ain't trying to skate with you. I ain't trying to do none of that shit, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to each his own, bruh. What the fuck?
Clues as to what could have influenced Ruja to do something so nefarious, federal investigators found some pretty interesting stuff. As it turns out, Ruja was fluent in 4 languages, was extremely intelligent, once had a job at a high-ranking consulting firm, and had been obsessed with fashion and maintaining her image from a very young age. It was only with the benefit of hindsight that prosecutors were able to clearly see how she used all these qualities to carry out her malicious plans. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the FBI will find her anytime soon. It's been rumored that after fleeing the country, the crypto queen may have drastically altered her appearance with plastic surgery, and is believed to travel with armed guards at all times. Disturbingly, there have also been several allegations that she was murdered by an accomplice, but this hasn't been proven.
That's crazy.
If she is still alive, the FBI suspects Ruja is traveling on a German passport to the United Arab Emirates, Bulgaria.
Keeping it low key. Do your homework on keeping it low key. Being smooth with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never gonna know. Listen to your boy. You know what I'm saying? It's anonymous.
Russia, Greece, and multiple countries in Eastern Europe. Considering how elusive she's been since her disappearance almost 8 years ago, it's unlikely the FBI will ever find out what became of Ruja Ignatova after pulling off one of the largest financial scams in history. Arnaldo Jimenez. On May 12, 2012, Arnaldo Jimenez and his wife Estrella went out to celebrate their wedding in a black 2006 four-door Maserati. Less than 24 hours after the couple had said their vows, Arnaldo knifed his wife to death in the car, dragged her into the bathroom tub of her apartment in Burbank, Illinois, and disappeared with...
Yeah, he hated his wife, bro. Like, nigga, that's hatred. Nigga, you sat up there and bro, yeah. That's hatred, bro. That's hatred, bro.
Trace. When Estrella didn't come back to pick up her kids at school the next day, her family called the cops, who ended up finding Estrella's remains still in her wedding dress in her bathtub.
Damn!
Immediately, a nationwide search for Arnaldo was launched, but by that time the suspect was long gone. During the investigation, it was revealed that Jimenez had reached out to a friend before fleeing and told him, "If anyone asks where I am, tell them I went to Mexico."
He's one of them, bro. He's one of them. I'm keeping it a million with y'all. Listen to your boy.
Since then, the authorities have received multiple tips that Jimenez may have fled to Durango or Tamaulipas, Mexico, where he's believed to be hiding out with family members. Initially, a $100,000 reward was issued for anyone with information that could lead to his arrest, but 4 years after he was placed on the most wanted list, the FBI increased the reward to $250,000. Burbank police have stated that in the past 12 years they've received hundreds of tips about Arnaldo's whereabouts, but none of them have led to anything significant. After the crime, investigators traced his phone and determined that he had traveled from Chicago to Tennessee, then to Arkansas, and from there to Hidalgo, Texas, very close to the Mexican border. They were unfortunately unable to determine where he went after that. Police have also revealed that the car in which Arnaldo carried out his heinous crime was never found. If the suspect is ever caught, he'll be spending the rest of his life in prison for first-degree murder and unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. But based on how things have played out since the last time he was seen, it's unlikely Arnaldo will ever pay for his atrocious crime.
And the crazy part about it is, like, you could be right in front of these motherfucking faces and you don't even know. You probably had a conversation with them before. You probably chopped it up with them before. I'm keeping a million with y'all. Listen to your boy. That's the spooky part about it, bro. You done had interactions with these people before, bro. Throughout your years of living, you done came across motherfuckers like these, bro. I'm telling y'all, listen to your boy.
Terrell innocent. As the leader of one of Haiti's largest and most violent criminal gangs, Craze Barry, Vitel Innocent, which do not let his name fool you, he is indeed not innocent, has terrorized the region for years, earning a spot on the FBI's most wanted list for his role in a string of brutal kidnappings and murders. In October 2021, he collaborated with the notorious 400 Mawozo gang to carry out the high-profile kidnapping of 17 Christian missionaries in Haiti.
Dang.
Disturbingly, 5 of the kidnapping victims were children, one as young as 8 months old.
That's crazy, bruh. Kidnapping the kids, let's start there. That's crazy work. Innocent. Let's start there. That's crazy, bruh. Now this one is crazy out of all of them. Y'all comment down below. Which one was crazy to y'all, bruh? Because I think this like the third one. This one crazy, bro. This one crazy, bro. The third or fourth one, I don't remember. Shit.
At one point, the hostages were reportedly kept captive for 2 months while the gangs demanded a ransom of $1 million per hostage. It was only after an anonymous donor paid an undisclosed sum to Craze Barry and 400 Mawozo that the missionaries were finally released. Based on court documents, Innocent and his crew ended up spending the ransom money on weapons. That same year, the Haitian president was assassinated, which caused Innocent's influence to grow exponentially in the chaos that engulfed the country. In the aftermath of the assassination, Cranesbury claimed new territories and expanded their ranks quicker than the cops could even keep track of. In 2023, Cranesbury boasted an estimated 600 members, many of whom were young children who were involuntarily recruited to serve Innocent's criminal organization. Almost exactly 1 year after the kidnapping of the Christian missionaries, Cranesbury kidnapped 2 U.S. citizens under Innocent's orders, Marie Odette Franklin and Jean Franklin. Unfortunately, one of the victims did not survive, while the other was held for a $300,000 ransom. Somehow, Innocent still managed to walk away scot-free. In April 2024, CNN released an interview where Innocent brazenly showed off his luxury home, which sticks out like a sore thumb in the
Now that's just crazy work, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that you going around doing this and doing that and just playing it off like that, that's crazy work. Nigga, you have evil spirits with you. Fuck is you talking about? You have demons with you.
Poverty surrounding him. Surrounded by gold-rimmed couches and chairs, Innocent explained to the reporter how he came to power. In the interview, he shamelessly blamed Haiti's corruption on the country's politicians, refusing to take any responsibility for his own actions. Interestingly, he also alleged that before becoming the leader of Cranesbury, he had once owned multiple legitimate businesses, including a hotel and a rental car company, but said his companies were destroyed by the government. According to multiple crime analysts, Innocent was once a political activist before he turned to violent crime to maximize his influence. Back in the US, Innocent is wanted by the FBI for an insanely long list of crimes, including kidnapping for ransom, theft, murder, assault, vehicle theft, and destruction of property.
God damn.
There's a $2 million reward for information leading to his arrest, but with powerful connections and an armed gang, it'll be pretty tough to ever bring him to justice.
Hell yeah, bro.
Omar Alexander Cardenas.
He able to get the motherfucking president knocked off, bro. What that tell you right there? Come on, G.
In 2022, the FBI released 2 eerie before and after clips of a man walking into and then running away from a shopping mall area on August 15, 2019. The man seen in the video is 29-year-old Omar Alexander Cardenas, and let's just say that he didn't exactly go shopping in the time that elapsed between those 2 clips. After disappearing from the
My guy, why did you just try to run? Like, what the fuck was you doing right there? That was an attempt but failed. Fuck is you talking about? Nigga, that was some, bro. Nigga, that was some GTA shit right there, bro. That was some, bro. That was some I'll eat you for breakfast type of shit, bro. That was some, I'm telling y'all, listen to your boy. Look how he was, like, come on, bro. That was beefy as hell, bro.
His view, Omar walked up to a man standing outside the Hair Icon barber shop at an outdoor shopping center and fired several rounds from his semi-automatic handgun at his head, killing him instantly. Immediately after committing the crime, Omar fled the scene a little after 4 p.m., as he can be seen in the eerie FBI footage. A suspected member of the Pierce Street Gang in Los Angeles, and often going by the nickname Dollar, Omar is suspected to have fled to Mexico to seek refuge among his relatives. In September 2021, a federal arrest warrant was issued for the suspect after he was charged with murder and unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, thanks to which he was pinned on the most wanted billboard. Even though he committed a brutal crime pretty much in broad daylight and didn't exactly shy away from the cameras after doing it, the cops seem to know surprisingly little about Omar. The only things they really know about him are that he's around 300 pounds, wears thick prescription glasses, has at least 1 tattoo.
Nigga, he's 5'6" to 5'7" and 240 pounds to 300 pounds. That's diabolical. Listen to your boy. That's diabolical, bro. Let's start there. How haven't this fat motherfucker been caught? How? How? What the fuck? That's just crazy to me, G. Like, how haven't this fat motherfucker been caught?
Is considered armed and dangerous, which alone is hardly enough to track down a criminal who's crossed international borders to flee prosecution. With time, hopefully more information will surface, leading to his potential extradition and arrest.
That run is killing me, bro. Like, every fucking time, bro. Like, that's how you know he a true fat boy. I'm keeping it a million with y'all. That's how you know he a true fat motherfucker.
But for now, it looks like Omar will remain a most wanted criminal. Yulan Adonai Archaga Carayas. Back in the 80s, a gang known as the Mara Salvatrucha was set up to protect Salvadorian immigrants from other gangs in the Los Angeles area. Fast forward a couple of decades, and the Mara, or the MS-13 for short, had become one of the most brutal and violent criminal organizations in the world. Nowadays, MS-13 has a strong presence in El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, the US, Canada, and even Spain. They engage in all kinds of criminal activity, from drug trafficking, human trafficking, extortion, murder, and racketeering, often using extreme violence to maintain their influence and control. For many years, a man named Yulan Adonai Archaga Carayas operated as the head of MS-13's criminal activities in Honduras, providing support and resources to the gang in Central America and the US with firearms, narcotics, and loads of cash. Often operating under his alias Porky, Yulan is wanted by the FBI for trafficking multi-ton loads of drugs through Honduras to the US and for the killing of several rival gang members. Among Porky's colorful criminal charges, you'll find everything from murder to racketeering conspiracy to drug importation to possession of machine guns. Even though he's only around 160 pounds, Yulan is considered one of the most powerful men in Honduras, as the MS-13 gang has had the country in a chokehold for years. The most shocking part of the story is that at one point, Porky had already been apprehended by the Honduran authorities and was even taken to a courthouse for a hearing on charges of murdering 2 Honduran prosecutors. But during the
murdered 2 prosecutors? Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Like I said, I want no smoke. I want no smoke, my brother. Like, may I be with you. I want no smoke. Come to me with y'all. Listen to your boy. This motherfucker sat up here and murdered 2 prosecutors, G. This nigga got... that's crazy work.
20 armed men dressed up in the same clothes as the anti-gang police units walked into the building escorting a veiled suspect and suddenly opened fire on the guards. In just a few seconds, the men subdued the guards and safely escorted Porky out of the courthouse, killing 4 police officers in the process.
That's crazy, bro.
For obvious reasons, Porky is considered armed and extremely dangerous. Due to the sheer nature of his crimes, the FBI is offering $5 million to anyone who can provide information leading to his arrest. One of the things that makes it extremely difficult to track a suspect like Porky down is that he's taken every possible measure to fly under the radar. Although he's believed to still be in Honduras, he and his security team use untraceable numbers from Israel and Poland, and he goes to extreme lengths to keep his whereabouts a secret when he contacts his family. Although the hunt for Porky is far from over, he's likely to remain one of the most elusive and dangerous fugitives on the FBI's most wanted list for years to come.
Like, for real.
Alexis Flores. One seemingly peaceful afternoon in July 2000, 5-year-old Ariana De Jesus was playing on the street in Philadelphia with her sister and friends when her mom went out for a quick trip to the store. When her mom came back, she started living every parent's worst nightmare. Ariana had been taken by a suspicious man. Immediately, her mother reported her missing, triggering a citywide search for the 5-year-old girl. In a desperate effort to bring more attention to the disappearance, Ariana's family and friends covered every neighborhood wall, light post, and stop sign with flyers and missing posters, but nobody had any clue what had happened to the little girl.
That's crazy.
Unfortunately, after a few weeks of searching, the cops found her unresponsive in the basement of an abandoned apartment building just a few blocks away from where she had been taken.
Never! What the f... Y'all is bogus. Whoever it did, bro. Just heartless, bro. Just not careless.
Disturbingly, the authorities also found a t-shirt featuring a bold political logo at the crime scene, which they deduced belonged to the suspect. During the investigation, a man came forward stating that he was pretty certain the t-shirt had belonged to a guy he only knew as Carlos, a drifter he had once employed as a handyman. Unfortunately, despite the promising lead, the case went cold for several years, leaving Ariana's family devastated and confused. It wasn't until 2007 that the authorities were able to analyze the shirt again thanks to recent advances in DNA technology, and what they found changed the course of the investigation forever. The DNA in the shirt was a perfect match with that of a man named Alexis Flores, who had been arrested in Arizona in 2002 for
This fucking weird, bro. Bro, you deserve the worst of the worst. Like, you deserve to get RIP, bro. Like, nigga, like, we talking about a 5-year-old little girl you sat up there and did this to, bro. Like, you was a goofy, sir.
and in 2004 for forgery. Unfortunately, by the time his DNA was linked to the crime, he had already been deported to Honduras years earlier for other less serious crimes. As the police would later find, finding Alexis Flores was going to be a lot more difficult than they initially thought. Throughout his colorful criminal career, Alexis had provided multiple fraudulent dates of birth and names. Despite his inclusion in the most wanted list, the only things the FBI really knows about him are that Alexis is around 5'4", 130 pounds, and has visible scars on his forehead and right cheek. Due to his crimes, he's obviously also considered armed and extremely dangerous. With a $250,000 reward on his head for the crimes of kidnapping and murder, you would think that someone would have come forward with information on this guy, but
Nigga, I'm not sleeping, bro. Fuck, nigga. I'm not motherfucking sleeping, nigga. Put it like that. I'm telling y'all, listen to your boy. This is crazy work right here. Nigga, I'm hunting you down, nigga, and I'm facing your ass. Listen to your boy. Wait until I have kids, G. I'm not playing, bro. I'm gonna be overprotective like a motherfucker, bro. I'm telling you, listen to your boy. I'm not playing none of that shit. Me and they mama fall out, nigga, she get in the crib next to me. We living next door. We gonna be next door neighbors. Fuck is you talking about? We being next door neighbors, nigga. Fuck all that shit. Like, I'm not playing, bro. I'm not.
years after the crime, Alexis has remained unfound.
Nigga, and I sleep good at night knowing
Wilver Villegas Palomino.
Playing games,
the National Liberation Army, or ELN, is a Marxist-Leninist guerrilla insurgency group in Colombia, often referred to as Colombia's last true insurgency and one of Latin America's most powerful criminal organizations. In the past few years, the ELN has expanded aggressively into Venezuela, thanks to which the National Liberation Army now has over 6,000 active members. Interestingly, for the first few decades after its foundation, the group mostly focused their efforts on kidnapping, extortion, and attacking oil infrastructure. But over time, the ELN stopped shying away from drug trafficking and became deeply involved in the international drug trade, earning them the attention of the FBI. In 2023, Wilver Villegas Palomino became the 530th addition to the FBI's most wanted list on multiple serious charges ranging from narco-terrorism to murder to drug trafficking. Often running under the alias The Hog, Palomino is a high-ranking member of the National Liberation Army who's been involved in a 20-year conspiracy to distribute drugs from Colombia to the U.S., thanks to which a warrant for his arrest was issued back in 2020. Wilver has also been accused of murdering multiple human rights advocates in Venezuela and the Catatumbo region in Colombia between 2017 and 2019. Due to his high rank and his responsibility in flooding the streets of Houston and other major U.S. cities with drugs, the United States Department of State's Narcotics Rewards Program is offering a reward of up to $5 million for information leading to Palomino's arrest. As of today, it's a complete mystery where this guy is, but considering the ELN oversees the production of over 200 tons of drugs which are later distributed worldwide, obviously including the U.S., it makes sense why he was put on the list. Donald Eugene Fields II. Since 2022, Donald Eugene Fields has been wanted by the FBI for the alleged trafficking of at least one child in Missouri between 2013 and 2000.
What's up with y'all messing with these kids and shit, bro? Out of all of them, it's just been nothing but straight up kids. Y'all messing with kids. What's up with that? It's just fucking weird. Bro. Like I said, bro, look, make me motherfucking president. Make me president, bro. Vote for Terrell, bro. Like, I know what the people want and what they need. Nigga, I will give your ass the right to sit up here and smoke a motherfucker for doing some weird shit like this. sitting up there messing with the kids and shit, nigga. Like, I was like, bro.
17. According to the authorities, Fields took a 14-year-old girl and offered her to his friend Ted Sartori Jr. in exchange for cash, cars, motorcycles, vacations, and Christmas presents.
Weird, bro.
Last known to live in Franklin County, Missouri, Fields has apparently been moving around the country since 2022, working sporadic jobs as a tree trimmer and independently selling used cars in an effort to fly under the radar. Based on court documents, it's believed that Donald probably took more than one victim, and that he might be hiding out with his girlfriend Jennifer Isgriggs, who is also wanted on a felony warrant for failure to provide child support. Since 2000,
like, he's a fucking weirdo. This nigga looks like he lights shit on fire. Like, he's the whole 9 yards you can think of, bro. The whole 9 yards of weird. Did homework on weird. You can't even describe it, bro.
22, the cops have received multiple tips indicating that Fields spent some time in the Tampa area, and as soon as they heard that, they started running Facebook ads with his face on a most wanted poster to ask for the public's assistance in locating him. Unfortunately, it's likely that by then Fields had already fled to Stover, Missouri. The FBI has also placed large billboards with Fields' face in cities where he's known to travel, but so far it seems like he's managed to stay a step ahead of the cops. Earlier in 2024, Sartori, Fields' partner in crime, pleaded guilty to his charges and will face up to 30 years in prison.
That's crazy.
He'll also likely have to pay $25,000 in restitution to his victim. Based on court documents, he'll be officially sentenced in early November 2024. As per the FBI's description of the suspect, Fields has multiple scars on his body as well as a tribal print tattoo on his right shoulder. With such a big effort being made by the FBI to make this guy's face known, hopefully someday he'll be recognized by someone and promptly turned into the authorities. But for now, the
y'all
cops
find a nigga off his ass, nigga. Like, y'all catch him, kill his ass, bro. Like, straight up, cause this nigga weird, bro. Like, this nigga sat up here and did something with a 14-year-old, bro. Like, this video was crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. This was the FBI's top 10 most wanted motherfuckers. Y'all comment down below, give me y'all thoughts. Till next time, y'all subscribe to my second channel. It's called Yo Terrell Reacting Again. Fire ass comes being produced over there, you I'm disappointed, man. Y'all go subscribe to my third channel, Terrell Be Hotboxing. I'll be doing weed reviews over there, you know what I'm saying? Do y'all homework on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, reviewing certain items, recommending it to y'all. Like, if it's trash, I'm not gonna recommend it to y'all. Do your homework on that. But I love y'all. I'm gonna see y'all on the next man. I'm out. Second channel for life, but my nigga, it's a marathon. Y'all stay on y'all P's and Q's. Don't be out here lacking, man.